معالي الوزيرة، السيدات والسادة ممثلو وسائل الإعلام، أود الترحيب بمعالي الوزيرة في هذه الزيارة الهامة. جاءت هذه الزيارة في وقت بالغ الأهمية اللي بتعرض فيها شعبنا لأبشع أنواع العذاب والقهر والقتل والتجويع ومعاناة إنسانية كبيرة. طبعا الأوضاع الكارثية في غزة كانت في صلب نقاشنا. طلبنا مجددا بوقف فوري لإطلاق النار ووقف غير مشروط ووقف لإطلاق النار اللي بياخدنا لشيء أكثر مستدام. ما نشهده اليوم هو إبادة جماعية تبث مباشرة على الهواء. أكثر من 56,000 فقدنا في قطاع غزة بخلال هذا القتل الوحشي، في مجاعة، في تهجير قسري، وهاي مش أزمة إنسانية. ركزنا إنه هذه الأزمة الإنسانية هي نتاج احتلال طويل الأمد ونتاج كارثة من صنع دولة الاحتلال. يجب على إسرائيل رفع الحصار فوراً والسماح بدخول المساعدات الإنسانية دون قيود. أيضاً تطرقنا إلى آلية المساعدات الإنسانية في قطاع غزة اللي تحولت لمعسكرات للموت وأداة للقتل. نرفض هذه الآلية وندعو جميع الدول لإدانتها. الأنروا وحدها هي القادرة على العمل مع المساعدات ولديها الخبرة والثقة والشرعية لتوزيع المساعدات. ما نشهده في هاي العملية هو انتهاك صارخ للقانون الإنساني الدولي ولأبسط مبادئ الكرامة الإنسانية. اليوم غزة أصبحت اختبار أخلاقي لضمير العالم. ناقشنا أيضاً تصاعد إرهاب الدولة في الضفة الغربية المحتلة، خاصة إرهاب المستوطنين بتشجيع وحماية جنود الاحتلال، وأكدنا أن كل هاي أعمال إرهابية تنفذ بدعم من الدولة. كما أكدت للوزيرة أنه التعبير عن القلق والاستياء لم يعد كافياً، وأن إسرائيل لا تواجه عواقب على جرائمها، وطالبنا النمسا باتخاذ خطوات عملية لفرض عقوبات على دولة الاحتلال. وأكدنا أن عملية مراجعة الاتحاد الأوروبي لاتفاقية الشراكة مع إسرائيل أثبتت بأن دولة الاحتلال تنتهك حقوق الإنسان الفلسطيني. أيضاً تحدثنا في مسألة الأموال الفلسطينية المحتجزة، وقلنا أنه هاي تحتجز بشكل غير قانوني لدى إسرائيل. هذه أموالنا وبحاجة لنا إلى أن تتحرر حتى نقدر نقوم بالمتطلبات شعبنا على الأرض في الضفة الغربية وقطاع غزة والقدس الشرقية. طالبنا النمسا للمساعدة في الضغط من أجل الإفراج الفوري وغير مشروط عن الأموال. أيضا ناقشنا إنجازات الحكومة وخطة الإصلاح وإعادة الإعمار، وعرجنا على التدابير التي اتخذتها الحكومة في حيال الحوكمة والشفافية، وإننا إحنا مستعدين للقيام بواجبنا في قطاع غزة فور وقف العدوان. معالي الوزيرة، آن الأوان لاتخاذ خطوات عملية، ليس مجرد إن الاعتراف بفلسطين ليس مجرد خطوة رمزية، بل خطوة ضرورية لحماية حل الدولتين. لذلك دعوت النمسا للمشاركة الفعالة في المؤتمر الدولي لإنهاء الاحتلال وتنفيذ حل الدولتين وفقاً للقانون الدولي وقرارات الأمم المتحدة.
Would anybody be so kind and maybe translate it to me, because I normally I'm used to having an interpreter, and I would really love to understand what it is said.
I will say the same in English. It's my pleasure to welcome you today, Your Excellency, the Austrian Federal Minister for Foreign and International Affairs, and thank you very much for coming to see us at this very grave period in the lives of the Palestinians. Our people are enduring immense suffering, and we count on the solidarity of all our international partners. On top of our discussion was the catastrophic situation in Gaza. We call for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire, the 56,000 people that have been brutally killed in Gaza, and the families that have been obliterated and wiped in Gaza, and the 135,000 injured in Gaza deserve our utmost attention. Civilians are being deliberately starved and forcibly displaced again in Gaza. Israel must end its genocidal war and have a ceasefire now, immediately. We called for a halt of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which has become a death trap, a mechanism of control and collective punishment, and it's a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. Gaza has become a moral test for our world. If we fail to uphold accountability of war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza, we compromise the foundations of the international system itself. We also discussed the escalation of violence across the occupied West Bank. Armed settlers are shielded and encouraged by Israeli soldiers. They are attacking our towns, villages, torching homes and vehicles, and killing our civilians. These are acts of terror carried out with state support. This must also stop. We emphasize that it's no longer enough to express concern. We need to continue to act we need to halt the impunity that Israel has been enjoying for a long time without facing consequences. So we have asked for concrete measures on dealing with Israel, and we expressed our appreciation for the review of the EU-Israel Association Agreement. We also raised the issue of the Palestinian money withheld by Israel, our tax money, which is legally ours, and that needs to be released so that we can do whatever we need to do in terms of meeting the needs of our people. And we've asked that Austria to exert pressure on that front. We have mentioned a bit our reform and reconstruction plans to enhance governance and transparency, and our readiness to resume our responsibility in Gaza. I have iterated our utmost appreciation to Austria's support in terms of humanitarian aid in Gaza, in terms of the development projects that you are supporting on the West Bank, in water, in energy, in education, in health, in innovation, and your continuing support to UNRWA. We've talked about the settlement expansion and that it's time for action, and that the recognition of the state of Palestine is not a symbolic gesture, but a step forward towards the two states. I warmly thank you, Minister Raisinger, for your visit, your principled engagement, and your openness. We trust in Austria's commitment to peace, justice, and the international rules-based order. The time is to act now for Gaza, for Palestine, and for the values we all claim to uphold. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Minister, thank you for your warm welcome here in Ramallah. We'll wait a little bit.
Yes.
Before I begin, I would like to congratulate you, Minister, for your recent appointment as Foreign Minister, and I wish you all the best in your new post and look forward to a productive working relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, I've traveled the region now. I've been to Egypt, to Jordan, to Israel, and I felt it both personally and politically essential to come to Ramallah and to meet with you today. After the enormous violence we have witnessed in the region, starting with Hamas' terror attack on 7th of October 2023, and including recent military confrontations between Israel and Iran, it is time to return to diplomacy, to political solutions, and to the negotiating table. And we all know diplomacy can only succeed if everyone is included, and if all sides are sitting down and working together towards a solution. I'm here to confirm Austria's support to the right of Palestinians to self-determination in the framework of a two-state solution. This needs a strong and effective Palestinian Authority. For decades, Austria has actively contributed to this goal, also through its bilateral development cooperation. The Austrian Development Agency has been running an official office in Ramallah for more than 25 years. We are a long-standing and trustworthy partner in the region, acting in the best interests of the Palestinian population. You mentioned a range of projects that we are involved in and we are continuing to support. In all these years, we have supported a number of programs focusing for institutional capacity building, health, women and youth. Going to see a project afterwards. As a member state of the European Union, we also contribute to the financial support for the PA, especially as it serves budgetary crisis threatens region stability. It is therefore necessary that the Israeli government cooperates with the PA and releases the withheld tax revenues. We talked about it. A weak PA is not in Israel's interest. That is why we welcome the PA's progress, particularly its decision to end the so-called martyr payments. It demonstrates its commitment to reform. Together with the EU, we will continue to encourage and support this progress. Yet I would like to emphasize that EU support remains conditional on PA's progress in the implementation of the reform matrix to ensure sustainable and effective long-term governance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister and I, of course, spoke about the alarming humanitarian situation in Gaza. Austria will continue to call on Israel to take immediate and effective measures to ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid in accordance with humanitarian principles. Since the beginning of the war in Gaza, Austria has provided life-saving assistance, particularly in the areas of food, medical care and shelter, amounting to over 63 million euros in aid to the region. Just last week, we added a further 3 million euros, and we do it via our reliable partner, the International Committee of the Red Cross, the Red Crescent. Gaza needs a realistic solution in conformity with international law. We welcome the Arab proposal of rebuilding Gaza. It is clear that in shaping Gaza's future, the Palestinian Authority must play a central role. Gaza must remain Palestinian. Any displacement of its population is unacceptable. At the same time, there is absolutely no role whatsoever for the terrorist organization of Hamas. It needs to be disarmed and disbanded. We want to see a lasting ceasefire and the release of all hostages. While we understand Israel's security concerns, we are alarmed by the consequences of its military operations in the West Bank, which have led to the displacement of many Palestinians. Settler violence is unacceptable. Austria rejects all provocations and inflammatory statements. We will continue to send a strong message through further sanctions against radical settlers. Our position is equally firm when it comes to settlement constructions. It violates international law and creates serious obstacles for a two-state solution. Allow me to close with a clear message. Austria always supports peace and diplomacy, and Austria will continue to be a reliable partner for the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian people. Thank you.